So here's the carburetor boot for a Kawasaki anyway. Here's the intake manifold, the hole in the intake manifold. So that boot has to seal, and theoretically you want 100% seal right there. And there are little cracks that often develop on the inside, and that can lead to air leaks. So we're going to fix this. And the way we're going to fix it, that we're going to get to right now. Alright. The problem that we're dealing with is these cracks. There's these little tiny cracks on the inside of the intake manifold boot. And there's where the carburetor slips in. So we're going to fix that. What I got at AutoZone was some gas and oil resistant quick drying sealant, contact adhesive and sealant, and some gasket material. And it's in like aisle 5 or something. Just go to AutoZone and ask them. Ask them where their gasket material is. Just tell them you need to make some gaskets. Alright, there you go. That's the idea. So, what I already did, and I didn't videotape this because I had to use protective equipment. I was dealing with fumes of brake cleaner. But I took a wire brush and brake cleaner and cleaned off these surfaces. And just kind of, cleaned it really well. Probably gave it a little bit of tooth, but it doesn't really matter because these surfaces are going to be squeezing really tight against the engine. So here we go. You saw that I cut that piece of gasket material, and it covers the surface of the boot. And what we're going to do is apply some of this stuff. Just read the directions on it. Pretty straightforward. I'm applying it kind of generously. Doesn't really matter because we're going to trim all this away. But what we're going to get in the end is we're going to get a sealed, let me see, bad sunlight angle, but it's the best light that I have right now. So, alright, there we go. We're just going to kind of press that in and let that just kind of sit and glue for a little while. What we're going to do after this is dry is we're going to take the X-Acto blade and trim around that and trim inside the hole. So we're going to have something really, really nice at the end of this. Yep, let that dry. And we'll do the rest. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. If it stays in focus or not. Cool. Alright, here we go. We got all the boots. They're all sealed. They have gasket material glued to them. We have one of the screws that screws it into the intake manifold. We have a drill bit that is just a touch bigger than the threads of that bolt. Just a touch. Do not, you don't want to tear a lot of this material away at all. Just go a little bit larger. It's a very quick way to open up those holes. So we'll just spot it down there. There we go. And we have the holes. Very nice. See if the bolt goes through. Bolt goes through very easily. And that's what we want. Now, how to clean up that gasket material. Oh, and by the way, these were just under a small space heater, like a little electric space heater, for about 20 minutes. And this it dried that gasket material very, very quickly and very effectively. So I'm just going to follow the edge of the boot with the X-Acto blade. And remember, when dealing with X-Acto blades, never, ever, ever run the X-Acto blade at all. Like, do not have a finger, in front of the X-Acto blade. Always make sure that where the X-Acto blade can go has no finger or arm or wrist or anything, knee, anything. Don't hold these. Don't hold these. Always have them placed down on a solid structure when you're doing this. So, that's how the edging is taking place, taking shape. There is a piece of metal. I'm going to get this last little piece here. There we go. So there's the boot. It's completely sealed. And again, that's gonna be snug right up against the engine, the intake manifold. So there's no worry about that going anywhere. So how to get that out? I'm gonna put the X-Acto blade just in. I'm not pushing it yet. I'm gonna push it when it's down on the base. But I'm just kind of lining the razor up. Now I lay it down, and I just start to kind of inscribe just a little bit. What I'm really wanting to do is just go in, just cut through it. So can you see that little cut mark where it cut through? And that tells me where the circle is. And there's a plate of steel, there's a plate of metal right here. So I'm gonna puncture it. Now I'm gonna finish it with the X-Acto blade on this side. Again, it's really easy to have a thumb or a finger in the path of the X-Acto blade. We don't want that. So I'm gonna be just kind of let me see if I can adjust the camera a little bit. Alright, so here we go. And actually I'm holding it sideways and just using the X-Acto blade to run through. My fingers are not in the way. Right when I go this way and I think my hand is going to be in the target zone, if it slips, I move it away and put it in a different position. There we go. There's a little bit of mess in here, so we're just going to take the X-Acto blade, and I'm using a pretty sharp blade, so these old boots, they can be kind of retarded. They can be kind of deformed. So I'm actually evening out the opening, the circle, making it actually kind of circular again by cleaning up. There's some kind of lumpy material down here, which I mean, my engine that I'm working on right now is it's not all modded up or anything, but I don't see why a little bit extra or a little bit more efficient airflow would hurt anything. So if you can see what I'm doing, just kind of I don't know how well you can see that, but it's actually a really nice, it's a nice circle in there. And it's ready to go onto a motorcycle. So let's do all four. Alright, there we go. We have for good as new intake boots. They all have brand new gasket material. They're very well adhered to the boot. Keep in mind that there are no cracks around the edges. So, you know, what we were really doing was resurfacing the bottom where it joins to the intake manifold. But, you know, this is going to be my experiment, and I'm going to see how these perform when I put them back on my motorcycle. Cool.